as I stand before you, I have an enormous physical TBR. Every book turned around is a book I have not read yet. And that has been forming since December of 23. So it's been a long time coming. So basically what we're doing today is going through my entire TBR. So I'll do shelf by shelf and we'll start making our way down the shelf. Without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we are going to start with first is go from left to right, and then work our way down. So we're going to start with my first book, The Gay Best Friend. This is a romance, a queer romance, obviously. I just know that this guy and this other guy, they're friends, but the one male character is about to get married or something like that, and then this guy is like, I kind of like him, so like, how's that gonna work out kind of thing. I got like 10 pages in, and it's not that I don't love the concept, it's that this kind of reads like YA. That kind of writing isn't really for me. YA is just not a genre that I love so much. It is what it is. Then we have The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. This is a romance. I also got like 16 pages in, or maybe like more than that, but then I was like, this book, I need to come back to it. Like, it was a softie enough, so like I'll be coming back to it at some point. And this is about a nanny, obviously, and she has an explicit website, I suppose you could say, and the guy finds out and there's a romance that comes of it. Then we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This is my only thriller on my book, and will probably remain that way for quite a while until I at least try to finish this, so we'll see when I get to it. Okay, and then we're moving into one of the most well-known authors, Abby Jimenez. This is yours truly. This book kind of scares me, to be fair. I know a lot of people love this book, and I kind of don't want to read it at the wrong time and then end up not loving it. So that's kind of the reason why it's still on my physical TBR after a year. But I just know that this main character has anxiety, I believe. That will be interesting. Reading about that physically will be very intriguing. Okay, another one from Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer. I have been waiting, obviously, for the summer to read this book. I got it a couple months ago, or like when it came out. I have just been waiting because, one, it wasn't summer when it came out, so I am waiting for summer. It may be time for me to read this. It may. Okay, next we have Throttled by Lauren Asher. This is an F1 romance, I believe. I only have book 1 because I wanted to try it out before I went into the others. There is something on this book. Before I went into the others, and usually I get the whole series, which you'll soon find out if you haven't already. I just immediately buy every book in the series, but with this one, I kind of want to be cautious. But I'm very picky with sports romances, as you will also probably see. Next, I have The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Pawson. This is the only book I have of her on my shelf. This is in fact on my June TBR, so we will see if I read it. I've been waiting for like a summer month because like it gives off summer vibes with like the leaves and the yellow color. I believe this is magical realism romance. Now we have Collide by Val Cabra. This is a hockey romance, so as I said, sports romance. I love a sports romance, so that's kind of like my go-to, I suppose you could say. The reason I haven't read this is because it is going into spring, or actually now going into summer, so I'm kind of cooling it with the hockey romance and going into more summer vibes or even fantasy. I have been in a fantasy mood, so this is kind of pushed back until it becomes kind of colder out. Next, I have Shadow Me, which is one of the first books I've ever gotten. I went to Barnes & Noble and I got this book, and I still haven't read it yet. I in fact only have one book in the series, which is kind of unfortunate because I like reading my series one after another. So I'm kind of waiting until I get that. Okay, next we have an all-time fave by a lot of people, Archer's Voice, Mia Sheraton. I have been wanting to read this book. It's a romance, if you didn't know. I have been wanting to read this book forever. I just am scared because of the hype, of course. A lot of people love this character because he doesn't talk a lot, or like he kind of like keeps to himself. So popular books kind of really scare me most of the time. So I don't know when I'll get to this, but it does seem like it takes place in like summery time with all of the dandelions. Okay, next we have Cross the Line by Simone Solati. As I said, I'm not good with pronunciation. This is another F1 romance that got really hyped up. It looked really good. Illustrator of this cover did a fantastic job. Yeah, I don't really know why I haven't read this, honestly. It's like quite short. Oh, actually, it's almost 400 pages. I got it because I got Throttled, and then I was like, what if I really enjoy Throttled and want to go into more F1 romances, and I don't have any? So I got this book. Then I have another ice hockey romance, Unsteady by Peyton Corrine. This, I think I started to read again. I did try to read this book, and then the male character like suffers from panic attacks, I believe, because he was injured. Yes, he was injured. So then he kind of has like PTSD from that. So I did get like 10 pages in, and then I stopped. For what reason, I'm not sure. But I have to wait until winter for this again, because this is not hockey season. This is beach season. And then we have Emily Henry, of course, Beach Read. This is one of the most hyped up authors ever. I'm cautious about reading her stuff, and I want to make sure I read it at the right time, which is why I left it for beach weather, because I want to be in the mood. I want to give this a 5-star. Just like every other book on my shelf, I want to give it a 5-star. Soon is gonna be the time, because it is summer. So soon I'm gonna have to just do it. Then we have Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. This is the only Elle Kennedy book I have on my shelf. I actually got this because me and my family were going to London, and I wanted something to read while we were in London, and this was kind of like a girl going abroad to London and having to room with 3 boys, I believe. I don't know, I thought it was gonna be interesting. And would you have guessed that I didn't pick it up? Obviously, it's on my TBR shelf. So then we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I got this book a while ago, probably last year at some point. I have a feeling that I'm not going to love this series, the Dreamland Billionaires series, because I heard it's mostly about like, it's kind of like Walt Disney kind of thing. I don't know, but I kind of think that, what is the second book? Like Terms and Conditions. I will like that one a lot more than the rest of the books. I don't really know. But it is here. It is waiting for me. I guess we'll have to find out if I read it or not. And now we're kind of in the sad territory of my shelf, which starts with If You Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. I got this book to read for a video, like reading sad books for a week or something like that, and I never actually did it. So if you're interested in that, let me know, because I will do it. I just didn't know if that was something that I want to put myself through, or that would be kind of interesting to watch. And then there's like a second book in this series, but I don't think people are really loving that, so I probably will only read this one, even though it's tragic. And then we have The Way I Used to Be, another sad one, another devastating one. I heard that this has a lot of triggered warnings that people should look up, so I will say that. And again, this is a sad book. I was going to read it in that sad vlog. I obviously not gotten around to it. So again, let me know if you want to see that video. I'll do it. And then to bring up the mood, we have a YA Romance by Ali Hazelwood. Check and mate. If I remember correctly, a lot of people love this book because it was so like cute, I suppose. And I think a lot of people say that this is like up there with like The Love Hypothesis. I think this is like one of 2 books I have on my shelf by Ali Hazelwood, and I haven't read either of them. And I do really enjoy chess, so like this is kind of like a good book for me to read. It's YA romance, which will be interesting. I don't, as I said, love YA, but if people love it, then I have to try it, obviously. And now this one has a interesting backstory. A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. I got this book when I was in London because I really wanted to get Magnolia Parks, that series, and they only had it in the feet cover. This was my next pick because I heard a great amount of praise about this book. I'm trying to like prove to you that it's from the UK. I don't know why, but like, here you go. Fantasy romance? I don't know. I don't really know. I just know it's fantasy. So, and then this one also has an interesting backstory. This is Jack the Ripper, One Autumn in Whitechapel by E.M. Presley. This book, very interesting. I got this from a tour guide, London, and our tour guide actually wrote this book about what he thinks went down and who he thinks did it. Really want to read this one actually, which I should just read it. I don't know why. Okay, next is a book that my dad wants me to read and I want to read. Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I just haven't read it because sci-fi is just not really my kind of genre. Like, I don't prioritize sci-fi. Just kind of waiting for the right time to read this. And I told my dad if he wants me to read it, he has to annotate it for me, so we could like share thoughts and whatnot. And do you see this annotated? No. So if you're watching this, annotate this book. Okay, next we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is a paranormal romance, and I'm currently reading this. There's my bookmark. I think I'm only like 18%, 16% of the way through. I do love a paranormal romance, especially between a vampire and a werewolf. Yes, please. That is my kind of jam. I'm looking forward to this. Very much looking forward to this. Now we have 10 Things That Never Happened by Alexis Hall. I think I know a couple of books by this author. I think we have like the boyfriend material and the husband material. Also were on my TBR at one point. But I figured I should probably read one book by this author and then go forward with more if I do like their work. This is obviously a queer romance, so really want to read this. And I believe it takes place in the UK. Would you have believed? And I think this is a work romance, a workplace romance. So could be interesting. Could be really interesting. Okay, down to the last 2 on the shelf. We have the second book in 1,000 Boy Kisses, which is 1,000 Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. This book was basically free. I don't have the first book, but I did see a couple of things about this author. So let me know anything about that, because I obviously won't, support bad things in life. Tell me about this author. I don't really know. But yeah, I don't know anything about this book. All I know is it's sad, and I don't have the first one. So, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm just kind of like holding it, I suppose. And then we have one that I should have read as soon as I got it, but I didn't, and quite devastated. That would be Magnolia Parks. This is the first book in the Magnolia Daisy Hates series. I got this book because I love the UK covers. Like, this is gorgeous. I'm sorry for my light glaring. This is gorgeous, and the back is like gorge. I did get this from like Blackwell's, if you know that site, and it was like a normal price, and I didn't have to pay for shipping. So if you like Blackwell's, but this series is quite long and quite intimidating because a lot of people love this series. So I am very curious. And I think this is like a drama romance, like a toxic romance. So I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. I also want to know if I'm a Magnolia girl or a Daisy girl. If you know, you know. So, oh my god, I thought this was gonna take like 20 minutes at the most. This clip is already 30 minutes. So this was the first shelf. Now we will move on to the shelf directly behind me. This shelf actually kind of has less books, or more books read than less, which is insane because clearly I love one genre, as you can tell. Let's just get right into it. Start with this stack here, bring y'all a little closer. I didn't love these books, so that's something. But Addicted, I absolutely adore. So I really need to read that. Speaking of, the first book is Addicted for Now by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I read the first 2 books in this series, the Addicted series. I would like to read both the Addicted Callaway series all in one and like go through like chronological order, I suppose. So this is the next book in that universe, and I started this book. I got like 10 pages in, and then I was just like, I want to make sure I'm in the right mood for this book because it is pretty thick compared to the other 2 in this series. 550 pages. So I want to make sure that I'm in the mood for this because I truly do love these characters and I do love the story, so I want to make sure. And then we have the entire Boodle Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I have not read anything from the series. I obviously have every book in it, so I clearly need to read it and just kind of figure out where I lay with that, because she writes dark romance, kind of. I would say dim romance, if you get what I'm saying. So always interesting to read, not like dark romance, but like darker than your average. So plus it's like mafia, so like interesting, very interesting. And then we have the almost entirety of the Windy City series. I also obviously haven't read Rewind It Back that just came out. I have only read Mile High in the series, and all of these yet to read. These covers, I'll tell you, are absolutely stunning. This is like gorgeous. Like every single one is absolutely fantastic. Since Rewind It Back came out, that cover, oh, the reds, y'all. I am looking forward to the series very much. Next we have King of Wrath by Anna Huang. I only have read Twisted Love, Twisted Games, Twisted Hate by her, and this is her newest series. No, actually, she has a new series, but this is her series that came after this one, which I believe it's in the same universe. So I'm pretty sure this is Billionaire Romance, I believe. That's all I know, actually. Yes, Fake Engagement, Billionaire Romance. That's all I know, really. That's all I know. She writes, what would I say, like dim romance? She writes like that. So, and then, as I said, I haven't read Twisted Lies yet, but I really want to because another booktuber, she really enjoys Twisted Lies out of everything that she's read by Anna Huang. So, very tempting. And I'm pretty sure that's a Billionaire Romance, too. Okay, next we have one of my newest purchases, Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. This is an exclusive Barnes & Noble edition, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Yes, ma'am, I love it. And this is a hockey romance, I believe, dark hockey romance. That's kind of like up my street, like entirely. So I'm very excited for this book, honestly. Do check your trigger warnings for the rest of these books on the shelf. They are the romance, and make sure you check your trigger warnings. Alright, next we have The Loser's Duet by Harley LeBeau. Yes, I haven't read anything by them, and I really want to. I have another book by them, and I really have heard such amazing things about this duology in general, because it is wide shoes, and I love a good wide shoes which you'll probably figure out by the rest of the books in this shelf. Next, we have The Lies We Stole by Monty J. I haven't read anything by this author. Clearly, there is a reoccurring thing happening. I have seen such amazing things about this book and this author in general by a specific YouTuber, and she really enjoys the series and this author, so I thought, why not give it a shot and see if I like it or not. I just turned it around to make it a little bit easier. So next we have Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue again, a dark romance with a demon. Something else that I have not read. So, and then we have both H.D. Carlton books. We have Haunting Adeline. I don't have Hunting, and I haven't read this book, but I really want to because I love dark romance. So, and then we have Shallow River. I don't know anything about Shallow River, actually. I think it just got a new cover, and I found that at like my local mall or something, at like a free books table. So, of course, I'm gonna grab it. And then we have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I have heard great things about this series in general, and it's like retellings, I believe, fairy tale retellings. So let's go to the next shelf. So this is the next shelf. We have the first trilogy. I will actually say I have not read the Belladonna trilogy. Or actually, it's not even a trilogy. It's a series. So I have not read anything in this series, and I really want to because I believe death is actually personified. So that's like so cool. And also these covers are gorgeous. Like, what? These are all fantasy. I keep them kind of displayed because I think they're really cool. Assistant to the Villain and Apprentice to the Villain, both by Hannah Nicole Mayer, I believe. I have heard such amazing things about this series, and I have not read it. And I believe there is another book coming out, so that will probably lead to even more, which means I need to read this series. I think it's fantasy, and I believe this frog is kind of like the comedic relief or something like that. And then we have one of the prettiest covers on my shelf. Gorgeous. This is a Fairy Loot, Tempest of Tea by, I don't even know how to pronounce this name, so I just won't say it. This is basically YA, I believe, YA fantasy. It's kind of like found family, I would believe, because it seems like a bunch of people, here I will show you, seems like a bunch of people are together. All I knew about this book was it was gorgeous. I saw the Fairy Loot edition, obviously, and I was like, I had to have it, and also the sprayed edges. Oh, but I obviously will read it. I just need to be in that fantasy mood, that YA mood. So moving over here, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart. So I read the first one, and I didn't love it. Oh, these are both upside down. Okay. So next I need to read Ballad of Number After is the second one in the series. So I do have this waiting for me on Audible. I just need to actually press play. So waiting for me to decide to do that. And then we have the entirety of Boys and Tallmen, except the first one. And the one on my TBR actually is Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. So we'll see if I get to it this month. I'm really hoping I do. But this is a thick book, so we'll see if I get to it. And that goes for all of Boys and Tallmen, because I know releasing 10, redeeming 6, girl, what the almost 800 pages. Oh my god. So all of Boys and Tallmen, really. And then I have to sadly say I have not read ACOTAR yet. And I realize that I need to get to it. I really do. I'm just scared. Who would have thought about starting a series as popular as ACOTAR and not loving it? So kind of like waiting for the right time. We'll see when that comes, of course. This is a fantasy by Sarah J. Maas, if you didn't know. Very popular fantasy. Let's go to the second to last shelf. We have one more shelf and then a third Okay, next we have the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig. I really need to read these books because I've heard wonderful, fantastic things about them, and I have not read it. Don't ask me why. I really don't know. I think this is more fantasy than romance, though. So, and I don't think it's YA. So, more fantasy than romance, adult fantasy. Always interesting. The Crowns of Nyaxia duet in the series, I suppose. I have the novella and the first book in the series. I'm also scared for this one because it has been boosted, I guess, praised a lot. Book Talk loves it. So I'm always scared to go into books that are kind of hyped, but I really do. I need to read these. Trust me, I know. I really do want to because these have vampires and witches in them, I believe. That is my kind of jam. If you didn't know that, vampires, werewolves, witches, that's my kind of book. Alright, moving on, we have, as you can probably guess, Sky Shade from the Lightlock saga, I suppose now, because there's 5 books in the series coming out. It was a trilogy, now it's 5 books. So I have read Lightlock and Nightbane. I enjoyed both of those. I just haven't read this one yet. And it is quite short. I think it's even shorter than the second book. It will be interesting what happens in this book. I've read Lightlock and Nightbane like one after each other, I think almost a year ago now. So watch a summary of that because I don't remember what happened. In order to read this book, I have to remember what happened in the other 2 books. So that's my predicament. Alright, and then we have a very special book. We have Nocticadia. This is a dark, gothic, academia romance, I believe. And this is such, like, I want to read this book so bad. I know I've said that like a lot, but like this book, I am like one of the books I'm looking forward to, like ever reading. And clearly I have a lot of books on my shelf that I haven't read, so that obviously says something. I just want to fall in love with these characters as much as I have seen people fall in love with these characters. Honestly, I need to get to it sooner rather than later. It's just obviously big book, a big book, almost 700 pages. I'll get to it when I get to it, I suppose, because I got some others on my TBR for this month that I need to get to, which we're heading into. Then we have Phantasma, which is on my TBR for this month. I have been hearing amazing things about this book and the Enchantra, I believe, that just came out. I've heard phenomenal things about both of them. This is kind of like an adult Carvel. I didn't love Carvel that much because I think it was too YA for me. Like, I did enjoy Tella. I like the main character, I guess, sister better than the main character, I suppose. And adult Carvel seems very interesting to me. Very interesting. I hope I get to this book this month because I need to know what happens. I really do. And I need to fall in love with this main character because I have seen so much amazing things about him. Next we have Dance of Thieves. And I forgot what duology this was. Is it the Dance of Thieves duology? Oh, it is. Okay, yeah, it is. I have this one because I went to a little library near me and this was just chilling there. And I was like, this was like in the early days, so like a year and a half ago when I just started getting into books. So once I saw this cover, I was like, oh my god, that's a book that I know. So I need to grab it. And it's in really amazing condition. Whoever had this before me, like, they did such a good job. There's only like a few scrapes everywhere, but other than that, pristine condition. And I think, yeah, all of these are either fantasy romance or fantasy for your knowledge, I suppose. Yeah, I don't have Bow of Thieves because I actually don't see this in the bookstore all that much anymore. Probably because I'm not looking for it, but I don't know, if I run across it once or twice, maybe I'll get it, but I think I should probably read the first book first. But I heard so many good things about this book. I think it's enemies to lovers and like thieves and like betrayal. I think betrayal is in this too. So kind of like everything I love. We have Metal Slinger. Now this book was very hyped up, I think in January, February, somewhere in that realm, and I got it, and I just didn't ever read it. And the text is huge, by the way, and this is kind of like a small book. Yeah, like not even 400 pages for a fantasy. Oh no, there is 400 pages. Okay, almost 500 pages, which I would not be able to tell. Like, there has to be like thin paper or something, because like this does not look like a 500-page book. Anyway, this romantasy, I believe, was hyped up, and I just never read it. And this is book 1, and I don't know if this is gonna be a duology or anything, but I've heard that the plot twist in this, the ending, is insane. So I'm looking forward to that. Next is another book on my TBR, which played for me. City of Gods and Monsters. This is a chunky book. This is almost 800 pages, I believe. So with all of these books on my TBR that are pretty large, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully I get to it this month. You'll see it next week. This book is an urban fantasy, I believe, and that is really interesting to me because I don't think I've ever read an urban fantasy. And it's humongous, and I believe that there's like 4 books in this series now. If I end up really liking this book, I'll obviously finish the series. And then we'll do these two together. We have Fearless and Reckless, both in the Powerless trilogy. I have read Powerful and Fearless, and I ended up liking Powerful more. It's kind of weird because novellas get a different rating, I guess. Like, for a novella, you have to be conscious of, like, you can't have much plot in there. So I really enjoyed the novella, so I gave it a high rating. I thought Powerless was pretty good for being the first book in the series. I did end up rating this 4 stars and this 3.75, but they kind of are on a different scale. We will see what I think of Reckless and Fearless. I'm waiting for my audiobook hours to come back so I can start one of those. Okay, then we will go with this one, which is the Book of Azrael. When I first pick up my first book I've ever read, my first book was, I think it was Icebreaker, actually, and this was also on there with being right after Icebreaker. I heard a lot about this book. It's a fantasy romance, enemies to lovers, I believe. That's really kind of all I know. Honestly, there's a lot of words on these pages. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, City and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole. So I believe there's more books coming out in this series, and I think we're on book 3 right now. I can't wait for this book because this has been on my radar for like almost 2 years now. So time to read it, don't you think? Then we have A Touch of Gold and Madness by K.L. DeVore. I heard a lot of amazing things about this book. I think it was at the end of last year or beginning of this year, something like that. A lot of people really enjoyed this book. And at the time, I thought it was a standalone, but it says book 1 at the top. So I was mistaken. I don't know anything about this book, actually. It seems like Princess Assassin, lovely, villainous prince, fantastic. So enemies to lovers, love a good enemies to lovers. Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Rorick. This is a fantasy romance, and a lot of people enjoy this author in general, so I'm here for it. I don't know about this. This is how many page book? Almost 700? Yeah. So should be interesting. Next, we have a book that should be in the dark romance category. However, I'm clearly running out of room on that shelf, so I put Kiss of the Basculus down in the fantasy section because I think it has a bit of fantasy in it. I just know that this used to be Spit and Swallow, I believe, and there's a lot of talk about that book. So, and then it just got recently traditionally published. Happy for this author, Lindsay Strube. Guys, this is why I don't say authors' names because I can never get them right. But beautiful sprayed edges. I just picked this up with Beautiful Venom. So these are like new. Like this is very, very dark romance, I'm pretty sure. So this will be interesting. How many pages is this actually? Such little words, such little writing. 500. Lovely. Then we have one of the newest fantasies, Shield of Sparrows, by Devoney Perry. This is the first book by Devoney Perry I've actually ever read, or haven't read yet, but I have on my shelf. I think this is one of her first fantasies. Don't quote me on that, because I know she has put out a lot of books, so don't quote me on that. The sprayed edges, beautiful. And I don't think this was in my Barnes & Noble when I went, so I had to get it some other way. And unfortunately, it did come a little messed up. But you know what? Just like everyone, we can't be perfect. And I love the faults. I don't go looking for faults, but you love them unconditionally anyway. I decided not to return this book because I kind of find this quirkiness, you know? So I'm keeping it. It's part of my library. I'm keeping it. This is fantasy. Obviously, it's in my fantasy genre shelf. But other than that, I don't know a thing about this book. I just heard that people really enjoyed it. So all you need to say to me in order to get me to buy a book. Next, we have The Half King by Melissa Landers. I read the back, and I think it's enemies to lovers, and obviously sprayed edges, gorgeous. That knife, yes, and then these end papers, stunning. And the best part could very well be the book itself, but the foiling on the cover. I do believe that this is an enemies to lovers. I don't know if there's trials. I'm thinking that there is trials. Seems like my kind of thing. First book by an author I don't know anything about, so I am looking forward to it. And then we have, if you couldn't tell by the sprayed edges, we have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I wanted the hardback. I actually waited for the hardback because have you seen the paperback of this book? It's like 1,000 pages long. Girl, I cannot hold 1,000 pages long paperback. I cannot do that. Also, these end pages, again, yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I heard that the glossary in this is like 10 pages long or something like that. Actually, more than 10 pages long. But a lot of positive things about this book. And I wanted to see what this page was about. So I haven't read it yet. I am waiting for the next book because I think it does come out in like September. We shall see. I don't know if this is going to be like a series or like a duology, trilogy. I don't really know. And then I'm just gonna flip over all of these books because I'm sure you can tell that this is Fourth Wing. So let me just do all that. So I do have Fourth Wing. I haven't read it at all, and I kind of think I want to wait until the series is totally done for me to even start the series because I kind of want to just read it all at once and not have to wait because I think there are quite a bit of cliffhangers. If I'm not mistaken, I want to read all of them so in one go. Although a lot of people tell me that they really enjoy the series and that I should read it. So let me know what you think because maybe you'll persuade me. So now let's move on to the last shelf. There's only like half of the books on the bottom shelf, so less time taken up. So sorry for the long video. I'm so sorry. Okay, then we have Education of Malice by S.T. Gibson. I have been wanting to read some more literary featuring books, and I heard that this is a pretty good place to start. As always, I don't know anything about this book. I just saw it on one of the tables at my local mall, and it was free. And then I heard of the title. I knew it was gonna be good. And then I actually looked into S.T. Gibson, and they have A Dowry of Blood by them as well, and I've heard a lot of good things about that book. So I really want to see if I enjoy this writing style and the storyline and all that, and then go into A Diary of Blood, because I figured that would make more sense. My battery ran out, so I'm kind of filming this all over again, this bottom shelf. So that's the reason why they're all flipped over. Then we have Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This duology I have not read, obviously. I know it's fantasy, but I think it's more fantasy than romance. But like, I know that the main characters are writing letters to each other, but they don't know who exactly each other are. So it's kind of like a laid-back romantic fantasy. So that will be really interesting. I have these books switched around, so let me just switch them back. And then, of course, I have the Natural series. This is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this is a crime, YA crime series, I believe. The Natural's first book is on my TBR for June, so I am very much looking forward to this because I've heard so many good things. Like, so many good things about this book. These two I haven't read. This one is a continuation of this series, but it's also a spin-off. So it involves some of the main characters from this series, and also, I guess, some of their siblings. And then this one is just kind of like the Brothers Hawthorne. It's in the same realm, and I believe it's just like short stories about these characters. So this one probably does count as more of this series than this series. And then we have Stalking Jack the Ripper in the really cool cover. If more covers come out in this kind of print for the rest of the series, I will gladly pick them up. If you don't know, I love history, so if it's anything like the actual story of Stalking Jack the Ripper, I will actually be very, very interested in this. So now I just actually have to pick it up. Then we have The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. My goodness. This book I've had forever, probably since the start of my book journey. I've heard that Olivia Blake's writing is gorgeous. Like, her plot, her characters are like amazing. So I really, really do want to read this series. I just always have trouble finding the last two books in paperback, because this one is in paperback and I don't want to get hardcovers if I already have one book in paperback. So I will have to look out for those. But I think this is dark academia fantasy, so always intriguing. Alright, and then we have The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick. This I kind of just saw it at Barnes & Noble, and the cover looked beautiful, and then the actual plotline looked interesting. Do I remember it? No, but I do remember that there's another book in this series called like The West Wind. Clearly this is multiple books in the series. Yeah, I actually know nothing about this book. I just figured that it looked nice, the plot sounded good, and I didn't really hear anyone talking about it. So I figured I would just pick it up. Then we have The Zodiac Academy, the first book, The Awakening, by both Caroline Peckingham and Suzanne Valenti. I have the first edition of this book, while most of the books in this series have a new cover, so that's impeccable timing by me. I think I got this book a week before the new covers came out, so I think I will be keeping it, because I was kind of debating on keeping it or not, but I kind of am now attached to it. So This series, I believe it's at least 9 books long and a couple novellas, obviously about an academy, maybe dark academia, and I think there's a whole bunch of characters in this series, a whole bunch of plot lines. So this is obviously a huge series, so it is a commitment. And then I have all of the Kingdom of Wicked series. I'm pretty sure this is kind of just based on Wrath, I believe, that Prince of Sin or whatever. I think this is the Prince of Sin series. Oh, and this is also written by Stalking Jack the Ripper, Kerry Maniscalco. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this involves Wrath. I think this entire series involves him. While the newest series by Kerry Maniscalco is revolving around the other Princes of Sin. If I may like the series, which I probably will, and I believe this is YA too, but don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. May have to go into that other series by her if I do like her writing. Alright, and that concludes my entirety of my physical TBR. I hope to get to most of these this year, but let's be honest, whatever count of books that was, it's gonna be a lot. So it's gonna take me quite a while to get through this entire TBR. But all in all, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your favorite books on this TBR, what I should read next, because that would probably be a big help. Also, if you guys have any like critiques of like what you guys want to see in general, or like if you want me to put certain things on the screen to help you guys, let me know. Please let me know, because I am doing this both, yes, for me, for fun, but also for your guys' enjoyment. So let me know if I can help you or anything like that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastical day.